And we are live. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the show. It's another Monday night chill stream because I was out driving yesterday and I got home earlier than I expected, but it was still a little late to stream. And I kind of wanted to have a couple of drinks and whatever, which I did. And I ended up drinking too much. But that still wasn't a big of a deal. And I just decided, to push it till today. So in the irregular streaming schedule, I figured I'd just update people. Although looking at this current channel, but I have 10 subscribers. My last video got 14 views, which I guess I'm not sure how that works, but hey, I guess we're growing. My popularity is growing. So what's going on? Obviously, the big event in my life is that I got conned out of all my money. So what did I do about that? Things were going round and round and round in my head, and I was really trying super hard, and I'm still trying. It's an effort to keep up my my mood, my spirits, because it's not a real happy event being a victim of a crime like that. So what I did was, like I said last time, I kind of dumped all the money in my checking account out, and then I took my emergency cash and bought Bitcoin with that, and then I sold some guns, and then I for a couple of weeks I'm trying to think of what I need to do next, because Bitcoin's going to do things you're not going to believe. I mean, after it's done, you'll believe it, and you'll wonder why you didn't listen to me. But whatever, that's that. Mind you, this is not financial advice, and I'm not a financial advisor. But big doings are afoot. Anyway, rather than, and I've mentioned that at work that they want me to borrow $26,000 and buy a Ford Transit van. A van that's not going to last 3 years, and I got to go $26,000 plus in debt for a vehicle that's not going to be worth $6,200 when I'm done with it. And you still got all the higher maintenance costs. So I avoided that. But that was on my mind a lot. Like people keep saying, well, here's how to make more money. Here's how to make more money. And I said, I'm not doing it. I'm not borrowing money. I'm not borrowing money for a truck. And then it finally occurred to me, well, why don't I just borrow money and buy Bitcoin? And that was ultimately my solution. From my bank, I took out a loan. And it took me a couple of weeks to think of that, though. I didn't think of it right away. And I picked an amount. I could have borrowed quite a bit more. But I have to think about how much I can repay each and every month. I've got to make those loan payments now. So if I got a loan payment, in my estimation, it's far better to have a loan payment for Bitcoin, which is going to grow in value, rather than some shitty fucking Ford Transit van, which is guaranteed to go down in value. So that was my solution. I now have more than one Bitcoin, less than 1.5, but I have more than one Bitcoin. So what was going to be life-changing money for me, life-changing money, is going to be life-changing money. So I'll have, at the end of 2021, some more doors open to me, so I could get out of doing what I'm doing and maybe do something better. But I haven't, and I have some ideas of what I think that is going to look like, but I'm not even looking into it that deeply because it's still it's far enough away that we've got to go through. We've got some stuff to go through first. So that was that. And just to give you an idea, when I got conned, right? I said it was for 68,000. Bitcoin was $11,600 per Bitcoin, and it's currently sitting at 13,006. So the 68,000 I lost 3 weeks ago is now worth about 79,500 in just 3 weeks. And each monthly close you're going to see is going to go higher. The end of November, it's going to be higher. End of December is going to be higher. January, February is supposed to be 2 big months as far as this goes. So 2021 is going to be lit, yo. I realize everybody's looking at all the election shit now. They're nonstop bombarding with the fucking election shit. I don't care. Win or lose, I got to wake up tomorrow and I got to go deliver boxes, so I don't give a fuck. I've said it before. Trump wants his family to be part of that elite dynasty that goes on forever and ever. The billions. He's not doing it for the money, but he wants his family ensconced as an elite forever, as a power broker in America. And there are some forces against him that don't want him to have that position, but he's fairly well carved it out. And I believe he's going to win tomorrow's election. He's going to it's going to be such an overwhelming tidal wave that they literally will not be able to steal it from him. But we'll have to see. So that's that. What else did I want to say? Oh yeah, the other thing that I saw, and I just saw it, what's her name? Christina Lagarde, the former head of the IMF and the current head of the ECB, has said, what has she said? Hey, you know what? We're going to look at making a digital euro. Yeah, the euro bill, the money of Europe. Hey, we're going to make a digital currency, the digital euro. And I guess I want to address the gold people. Just go over the gold arguments real fast. It's not that gold doesn't have value or that gold's value will not increase, but it's not going to be the future. It just isn't, and the argument of what if they shut off the internet? What if they shut off the internet? They're not shutting off the internet. It's how they spy on us. We carry around phones that spy on us all the fucking time. They're not shutting that shit off ever. That's not happening. But what if there's an EMP? Okay, no one's getting hold of an EMP to blow up any part of the internet. And I don't think you understand how the internet works if you think an EMP could knock out the whole internet. And for this is an argument made by like gold people and some other people who are afraid of Bitcoin. And I understand being afraid of Bitcoin because you can lose it all too fast. And that most wealth today now, because we have banks and strong boxes and we have ATMs and passcodes and real estate takes 3 days to transfer, and all these forms of wealth move slowly. You can't lose them real quick. You know what I mean? And that's why the people pour a lot of money into them, or that they have a great deal of value, because they can't be snatched out of your hand in seconds like Bitcoin can be. So until the Bitcoin geniuses figure that out and make a different kind of Bitcoin storage device where you can't empty it all at once. Like you can't. What happened to me, and it's happened to others, by the way. If you go to the Gemini exchange now, and you buy Bitcoin, and once you have Bitcoin in your account there, they want a list of addresses, safe addresses, that is to say, whether you got a ledger or whatever, or you have a paper wallet or you have a digital wallet on your phone. They want a list of safe addresses that you can withdraw to. Well, why did they come up with that? The reason why they came up with that is because people fucking losing money hand over fist, guaranteed. Guaranteed. A lot of people lost more than I did. I guarantee it. And this problem is going to remain a problem until somebody engineers a fix. And engineering a fix is not going to be that hard. It's not going to be that hard. But the dorks that run the show haven't figured that out yet. And Bitcoin is like computers were in the 70s. When I was a boy in the 70s and computers were new and like nobody had them except the government or big businesses like colleges and shit, there was actually a bumper sticker. There used to be bumper stickers on cars that said, "To err is human, but to really screw up, you need a computer." And when I was a boy in like 1977, if you'd have told people that everyone's going to have a computer inside their house and that your kids would fight for time on the computer, and like you would sit in front of it for hours and hours, you'd have been called a crazy person. No one would believe that. And that would have been so insane sounding that no one would believe that. And yet by the end of the 1990s, that's exactly what happened. A scant 20 years later, the entire world had transformed in ways that no one could expect, right? And if I said, you'd have a government tracking device listening to every word you said, and you'd carry it around with you and you'd pay for the privilege, that's a smartphone, right? People would say you were a paranoid lunatic. And again, they would have thrown you in a loony bin. But that's what we have now. So there are things you can't think of, you can't conceive of, that are coming down the road that other people see a little more clearly. And you'll see once they get here. But there's going to be a lot of changes, and mostly negative ones. No matter who wins the fucking election, like nothing's going to get better. Like, what are you going to do? People can't even go to college now. It used to be like, well, go to college and get a good job. All the colleges are closed. or you're going to go to digital college, you're going to go to online college and get a job, or work from home job or something like. Do you think that transition is going to be made? Do you think that they figured this out? That this is a fucking disaster. These idiots. I think with Bill Gates, with the original thing with Windows software is that Bill Gates would deliberately design the software so it would get viruses and then charge you to get rid of the viruses. And he decided to do that not in cyberspace but in meat space. And it sounded like a good idea probably in the 1990s. Because in the 1990s, everybody had health insurance. Everybody had great jobs in health insurance, right? There was all these health insurance companies, and you could get all this stuff done. And there was tons of fuck was there. Prostate cancer was like the big scare. It was a completely phony scare. But they said, "Oh man, if you have no symptoms, but you could have prostate cancer, and you got to go get this test and then get this operation." And I don't know, hundreds of thousands, millions of guys had prostate surgeries, and for nothing, preemptively. It was like just in case something might happen. But and doctors would be more than happy, especially foreign doctors, to chop you up, especially when somebody else is paying for it. So, but nobody else is paying for it. There's no health insurance. Obamacare is a disaster. What is that? That's fucking, what is that? Who got that? You know what I mean? I think the plan was take a relatively normal flu-like virus, COVID, whatever, coronavirus, hype it up, get everyone scared, get them demanding, a shot, and then the health insurance would pay for it. But nobody has health insurance. This is the bosses, and I've worked for small businesses where, and I've said this before, bosses have incredibly shitty ideas. They have no idea what works and what doesn't work. They're just the boss. They're just the boss. They don't know what fucking works and what doesn't work. They come in with a fucking grand idea, do X, Y, Z, and everybody looks at each other like, we don't have the equipment, whatever. And they go, "No, you do it." And you go, "You the boss." And then you go ahead and do it, or try to do it, and it fucking fails spectacularly. And then at some point, the boss just gets disgusted and walks away, And eventually you're like, can we go fucking undo this problem and then get back to doing it the right way? Which eventually has to happen. But when you do it like globally, you're fucked. So there's America has largely been turned to, with all this COVID stuff, everything is ghetto now, right? Everything is ghetto. And I want to show people what the ghetto is really like. And I want to see if I can get better at this share screen thing, But so I'm clicking back and forth to see if the file I want is open yet. So yeah, the title of the stream, Tradition and Innovation, right? Two ideas that are constantly at war. One absorbs the other, right? There's tradition that doesn't like innovation because it feels threatened by anything new. However, if an innovation is successful, it will eventually be adopted as a tradition, right? Once it's proved itself over time. But innovation is always trying to drive forward, theoretically, and tradition is always trying to pull back, even though tradition benefits from these innovations. And that's the thing is, tradition is easy because we already know what it is. We just keep going with what we got. Innovation is hard. It's hard to think of new things. It's hard to find new ways to do stuff. That's a significant improvement over what you have, and there was a time where I remember when Hillary was running, she said something like, they asked her something and she said, "Oh, we'll just innovate." Like people make a conscious choice every day to just do the same shit, and like they could just by snapping their fingers innovate, right, and make everything better. That's not how shit works, you know what I mean? But that's how Hillary thought shit worked. Okay, so let's do share screen. And let's show you ghetto life, right? Let's see what we got here. There we go. All right, now it's going to go. And this is what I say. This is the hood, right? I've had this photo I had this for a long time. This is the hood for reals. This is like a Facebook screenshot of, I think it's supposed to be Baltimore, but you can see like 8 black kids in an alleyway, one on his knees, and he's going to be servicing all them youths. And you get the black girl in the front, and she's look how fun, look how much fun ghetto life is. Look at this. This is, it's just another day in the hood, right? And people don't understand that this is normal to them. This is not insane. It's normal. And all those dudes in an alleyway, and the guy in the center with the white shirt with the yellow shoulders, he's holding a small pistol to the other guy's head. So like gang rape in an alleyway, it's just Tuesday in the hood. And when I say to people, and I even say to Spanish guys, and they don't fucking get it, I say, if this is how they treat each other, how will they treat you? And that's a fair question, right? I mean, if this is how they treat each other, how will they treat you? And that's a question a lot of people don't want to fucking contemplate. And they always respond with, but not all of them. And I want to smack them in the head, because you don't have time. You will be put in situations where you don't have time to make these distinctions. You won't have time to do an investigation. Oh, is this with it? You won't have fucking time. You don't have time. People like this, once they get close to you, they're going to do bad shit to you. That's why there's plexiglass all over the hood, and there has been for decades, since the early 90s, at least when I was there. So now that there's plexiglass everywhere you go now, your supermarket, your pharmacy, your every restaurant, every coffee shop, everywhere, it's all been ghettoized. And it's very, very tough to get out of the ghetto, kids. It's really, really tough. It's tough. Very few people make it out. And that's a lesson you're going to learn the hard way. As the economy does not come back, the politics is going to go. You think it's going to be more and more redistributive, whether you want to call it Marxist or communist or whatever. Anything of value is going to be taken ostensibly for the purpose of equality or equalizing outcomes, and it's just whatever. Obviously, the best things are going to be cherry picked off the top, and given to the oligarchs, and there will be less and less available to the rest of us. So let me remove that. You don't need to see that anymore. So there's that, and then I'm going to we already seen that one. Let's look at the other one. This. All right. So I'll wait for that one to pop up. But this is what the future is going to look like. There's no. What are you going to do? Like, how are you going to? If you got kids in college or whatever, are they going to go back to school and get a degree doing what? Working where? There's big companies. There's a pharmaceutical company called Merck that I occasionally deliver at, right? And there was this, so I go to deliver there. This was a couple of months ago, and it's a big facility, and a lot of security. And I go to security, and I'm trying to tell them where I need to go, and he said, "All right, someone has to meet you there, because you're not allowed onto the facility until there's someone in there at the loading dock to meet me to take this piece." But everybody was on work from home. Now you're like, well, how do you fucking deliver something to a warehouse or a facility if everybody's on work from home? No one thought about that. So the guy's calling over. He's calling. None of the phone numbers for that building answered. Finally, he calls a cell phone. The guy's at his house. The worker's at his house. And I'm like, I sat there for hours in the hot sun. waiting for this, finally, and I'm back and forth. And the thing is, the piece was shipped over from England. It was a medical piece shipped over from England. And they couldn't just pull me off that. They had to contact people in England to get permission and stuff. And it was just a massive, gigantic screw up. And, this stuff is coming everywhere all the time, and it's only going to get worse. Only going to get worse. And the stupid thing still won't come down in the bottom. Let me close one tab. Maybe that'll free up some resources. No, just dropped it out. Okay, let's look again. There we go. All right, so share screen, Chrome tab. This one, share. This is what's coming. I showed it before. I showed the. Oh, come on! It's supposed to pop up there. I showed the German version, the Weimar version. This is the Zimbabwe version. These are guys in Zimbabwe with trillions of dollars on wheelbarrows. Those are all Zimbabwe dollar notes, and you can laugh at them and think that'll never happen here, and it won't, in the sense that you're not going to have that many paper bills. We don't have, nobody carries around that much paper anymore. It's all on your debit card or something like that, or your credit card or whatever card you have, whatever chip enabled card you have. But those guys go out with that much money all tied together in bundles and on wheelbarrows. And when they stop, they keep an eye on the wheelbarrow. They don't care if somebody steals the money, but you can't let somebody take your wheelbarrow, because your wheelbarrow is really fucking useful. You could do work with that. You know what I mean? You could do enough work in a day, I guess, with a wheelbarrow to fucking eat. And that money, it ain't that. The money you can use for something else. You can use it for toilet paper. You can use it for whatever, to heat your home at night. Americans don't believe that this is possible, or something like this. You think this is crazy. This is science fiction, but it's not. And so, a digital version of this is coming. Nobody knows how to get out of this. Nobody knows how to get out of this. The fucking elites have driven this shit into a ditch, and they have no idea, and they double down, wait for the big payoff, but there's no big payoff. And how do you fix this? How do you fix it? And it's never going to be. The reality is, it's never going to be like what it was. Trump's going to win. Everybody's going to celebrate. Blah 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 blah. Stock market. Blah 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 blah. And it's not. Nothing's going to get better under the surface. It's going to get worse and worse. His supporters may love him and may think he did his best, but I don't know what he did that made this any better. I have no idea. So something like that, you may see something like that in the future. Faster than you know. And as for bad guys, they're still out there. Here's, see if we can get this one. Even though I just got robbed, right? I got this. Where is it? Come on. This showed up on my phone. Come on. Here we go. Hey, James, your ledger has a serious problem. Blah, 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 blah. Click on this website here and find out. Now, the people that sell these things, they will warn you that this is what's called a phishing attempt, right? It's not FISH, it's PHISING, phishing. So people are looking to get information from you by tricking you, right? I've just been through this. So I got this last night, driving back from Albany. How did they get my phone number? How did they get the text? I don't know. My guess is, the company, the people that make the software said that there was a data breach. So, and to beware of phishing attempts. So there was a data breach from the company that makes Ledger. Now the devices are not compromised, but their software, their user database was. And so that's how they got my name, and they sent me this. And then a few hours later, I got which one? I got this other one. I got another one. Where is it? Oh, that was nice and smooth. Look how good I'm getting at this live stream thing. So this was another one from ostensibly, like, wait a minute, this is the cyber thieves are so crazy. Like, you'll get bombarded with this stuff, and it's super obvious that this is not. It's like, hey, plug in your device, blah blah blah. The firmware of your device has a problem. You will never get that. And so my point that your digital assets can be stolen from you, and that there's a lot of thieves out there that can be pretty sophisticated. They got the website set up in advance, and if you are not thinking, or you're tired, or whatever, or you fuck up like I fucked up, it could be extremely costly. So, and I'm sure for people who don't like Bitcoin, they're going to say, well, this means Bitcoin is shit. And okay, listen, there's ways to counter this, right? Like I said, they could come up with one, a wallet that can't be emptied all at once. But what you could also do is you could buy 3 of these, right? You could buy 3 different ones of them, so that not all your digital assets are all in one place at one time, so you can't lose them all in one place at one time. That's a strategy, that fairly easy, simple strategy to employ, and I probably should have done it, but I consider myself immune to that, because in real life, I've avoided street cons a bunch of times, like a couple of times, so, but this, obviously, the internet one, you get targeted, and unlucky for me. But like I said, I've rebounded as much as I can rebound. I do have a stake in the future, not nearly as bright as it was, but it still should be enough to change my circumstances for the better at the end of 2021. So that's kind of keeping me in a good mood, keeping me from falling into a very, very, very bad mood. But most of these cyber thieves, I believe, are governments or people who have access to government resources. When people get doxxed, what's called doxing, right? They find out who you are, even though you have a Pepe the Frog avatar and you have a weirdo name and stuff. They seem to find out, who you are. And now I'm going to stop. So I want to see if I can get this. This is going to be super tricky and super cool if I can make it happen. Right off my phone, which is attached to the computer. If I could do this, I would be the coolest dude. Really, the coolest dude. The coolest boomer on the block. If I can access, no, don't open it twice. I hate when it does that. Hey, this PC. Why can I not map network drive? Access media. Come on. I'm trying to, I did this before the show, and I got right into my phone, and I thought I could do it again while the show was going on, but I don't think I can. Womp womp. Oh well. I had a tweet. I wonder if I can email it to. I'm going to email it to myself during the show. Look how clever that would be. No, I don't want to see that. That would be like, that would show me as being the smartest dude ever. Cool. I don't know what this fucking shit is. Pissing me off. I can't get what I want when I want it. It's supposed to be better prepared for this, but I'm not really that prepared. Where are we at? Here we go. I'm going to email it to myself, and it's going to be so fucking awesome that I show you this. Because we live in a world where you think like that kid Kyle Rittenhouse, he's still in jail. You know what I mean? They need like I think they need more money for bail from him. I can't believe nobody's like screaming at the NRA to let that kid out. But with all the stuff that's going on, you see all these videos on Twitter and stuff, people getting beaten and robbed, and you know all this dumb shit. Fucking, they want to get in a confrontation with Antifa. This is a bad idea. We don't control the courts. We don't control the fuck. Like, there's no money behind us. Nobody's going to help us out. Hollywood's not going to fucking get our bail. You're going to be ruined. And they control the courts. They really control the courts. So you don't want to put yourself in a position where you have to be on the wrong end of this. And there's people I know that are outraged, and I'm like, listen, you can't. Don't get in a confrontation. You are going to lose. You are so completely going to lose that you're going to wonder what happened. How do you ruin how badly you ruined your entire life? Don't confront these people. You're going. No matter what happens, you're going to lose, and you're not going to stay anonymous no matter who you are. They'll find you out. I'll wait for Gmail to load in the background. And the way they're going to find you out is because the small hats run the alphabet agencies, basically. Almost all of the government entities that are capable of finding out who you are, are run by Jews or close enough. There's a girl, she's on YouTube. Her name is Whitney Webb. She's like she does stuff that's too long and involved, but she does all this the spook stuff and CIA stuff and that kind of thing. But the head of cybersecurity for the NSA, the National Security Administration, is named Ann Neuberger. She's Jewish, And who is she married to? She's married to a member of AIPAC, someone who sits in the board of AIPAC. Hey, Jonathan Pohl, how's it going? What do you mean, Jonathan Pohl? You are the audience. I've been going 40 minutes waiting for you to finish your book and finish talking to Niaz and all I can't believe I can't believe your ability to put up with people like that. I find that truly a superpower. But anyway. I don't know. I have no idea what the audience is. Everybody's looking at the election returns or something like that. I don't know what they're doing. And then there's so my point about the alphabet agencies being run by the small hats is they're not hiding it. They're publicly stating it. And it doesn't take a whole lot of digging to find that out. That NSA, the head of NSA cybersecurity, is a Jewish female who's married to an AIPAC member. Really, you got to rethink what you're doing and saying it. And they can, anything you've done or said or whatever, like they sort of have all of us. It's just a matter of when they want to turn over a rock and find you. So you kind of got to keep that in mind. And if you don't keep it in mind, your life's gonna be ruined pretty quick. So it's a good idea to say, I was hacked. Hey, somebody hacked my account. I would just tweet that or whatever, and I don't know if it'll save you, but it can't hurt, right? But the stuff that I was saying earlier, that we don't control the courts. There was some video, I think Eki posted, some guy getting arrested for not wearing a mask in Montana or something like that. Dude, you're pushing. Like when it gets to the point where they're calling the cops, like the police are called and you're going to fight with the cops, like over a fucking mask. How dumb is that? Like that's, don't get me wrong. When the guy files a civil suit, I said, sue the county or the city for fucking $80 million. Absolutely do that. But to try and make them, to to make them pay a price if you're in a position to make them pay a price. But we're not in a position to do that. You know what I mean? You'd have to get on a jury, for that civil case when that comes up 6 years from now, and then try and make that happen. But these people are being stupid on principle, and there's no one to help them. It's profoundly unwise. It's profoundly unwise. But so the election and the politics, all this is going to change relatively quickly. And I remember, the problem with me is I have too many conversations IRL that are similar to streams and stuff like that. So I can't remember what I said to whom or when. I'm like, I think I said something on the stream, and then I realized, fuck, I haven't streamed in 3 weeks. Like, I couldn't have said that. But the big driver is going to be the economy, and how are they going to restart it? They don't fucking know. And if you look at a history of currencies, fiat currencies, the average length of time a fiat currency goes from its initial value to zero is 127 years. So the U.S. Federal Reserve took over the American money supply in 1913. It is now 2020. It's been 107 years, and the value of the dollar is plummeting faster and faster. Like I said earlier, Christine Lagarde from the ECB, the European Central Bank, formerly of the IMF, has said that they're looking at a digital euro. They're going to have a digital currency in Europe. And the reason why they're doing this is because both America and Europe know the Chinese are ahead of them. The Chinese economy is growing. Everyone else is dying. And our leaders and the leaders in Europe are like, oh shit, what do we do now? You know what I mean? They can't figure out. They drove this fucking thing into a ditch, and then they got out and got in another car and used the second car to drive the first car deeper into the fucking ditch. And it's fucking bad. It's really, really bad. So we got about maybe another 20 years before all this political stuff is just not going to matter at all. What's going to drive this is people competing like in the streets like wild animals for food, shelter, clothing, whatever, medicine, and this is going to make all this shit that's going on now look like a fucking cakewalk. You know what I mean? BLM will be back for Mike Pence, and will Mike Pence have the ability to outsmart them? I don't know. I don't know how smart of a guy he is or how good his advisors are, but probably not. He's going to be too white. Ron DeSantis, can Ron DeSantis challenge him? Can he co-opt Ron DeSantis? What will that look like? I don't know. But all the interesting stuff is happening now in the future. You know what I mean? You have to be forward-looking and try to see what's coming, and try to prepare for it. And I think a lot of people are not doing that. It's so much fun to get down in the weeds and worry about all this fucking stupid shit. But it's going to pass, and you're going to find yourself unprepared, and you don't want to be unprepared. So, like I said earlier, my solution after getting conned, going from 5.86 Bitcoin, now I borrowed some money, and now I have a little more than 1 Bitcoin. So I'm not completely broke, although I'm in hock, but I'm in hock an amount that I can certainly pay off. Rather than, my reasoning, I'll just briefly repeat, rather than buy a $26,000 Transit, a small truck to use for work to make an extra 15 cents a mile, which is not worth it. 15 cents a fucking mile. Seriously, I'm going to go $26,000 plus in debt, for a tool, a van that's going to be worth $2,600 in 3 years. Not a good idea. But it finally, as much as I was having those arguments in real life with people or those discussions, it finally occurred to me. I was like, I got an 819 credit score. My credit score is 819. You know what I mean? So I just borrowed money and I bought Bitcoin with it. And again, an amount that I'm certain I can make the monthly payment. So I have significantly brightened my future, but not nearly as bright as it used to be. So something of a save, but not, again, not on the scale that it would have been. But so that's my update, and that's what's helped me stay positive and not go completely negative mentally and emotionally, because I can get into some powerfully dark moods. Although and I've been trying to remind myself that there are people that, like, when I go back to places I used to work in previous years, like a place I worked 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and there are people still there that remember me. They come running out from behind their desks and shit, and they'll surround me and stuff. And they're like, "Hey, how you been? What's going on?" Da, 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 da. Even if they hated me, they still want to talk to me. I got stopped in the supermarket parking lot by this guy. He was, I don't know what the fuck is it? He was in a Moroccan. I don't know what the fuck he was. Some camel fucker country. And I mistook him. I sit in a room. They said, "Who's that guy? Was his name Muhammad?" I think his name was. I don't even know what the fuck his name was. He's a fucking dick. But I said, "Oh yeah, that guy. Oh, you mean the?" I said the guy from Marrakesh or something like that. I don't know what the fuck I said. And of course, this was in a taxi business. Taxi business is full of fucking gossips and rats. And somebody ran to him and said, "Oh, that guy called you a guy from Marrakesh or something." And he does all this fucking dramatic, like he's insulted. You think I'm a fucking whatever, a Bangladeshi? It's like, I don't know what I said. I told him, I said, "I don't know what you want. I don't give a fuck what you want." You know what I mean? I made one remark in passing. So anyway, this guy hates me, right? I don't give a fuck if you hate me. He stops me in a parking lot, in that supermarket parking lot, like 2 miles from. I'm about to get some food, and he's like, "Hey, how's it going?" Da, 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 da. I'm like, "Dude, you didn't even fucking like me, like I didn't like you." But he wants to talk, and he wants to talk, and he wants to tell me this and that and the other. And I said, "Listen, he used to live in these buildings where I live now. Who's we, man? And he can't afford to live here anymore. He had to go somewhere else." So, he's like, and he wants to argue with me about shit. He said, blah, 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 blah. I said, "Well, I sold my motorcycle." He goes, "No, you didn't." I said, "The fuck?" I said, "Retard." Like, I'm getting increasingly fucking incensed with these people. I don't know why people, they just want me to fucking bash their heads in with a fucking claw hammer. I said, "I had to sell my motorcycle. I did this, I did that, blah, 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 blah." "Oh, no, you didn't. I saw your motorcycle last week." I said, "Well, it hasn't been there for a fucking month and a half. You didn't see it last week." And then he tries to tell me, "Oh, my friend's got this driving job. He's making $300 a day." I said, "Go with him. Go make $300 a fucking day." But his friend is full of shit. But they want to tell me this stuff, and I don't even know why. Like, why do you even want to tell me this nonsense? But finally, I'm like, I'm not fucking talking to this guy anymore. I left him in the parking lot. I went to the supermarket. But this is a guy who I hadn't seen in 6 years, 7 years. Just drives up all of a sudden out of, "Hey, how's it going? Hey, what's up?" And I wasn't even friendly with this guy, like not even friendly. But people I was friendly with, they always, it's weird. I get like mobbed. But I had this effect on people in IRL. I was in the cargo office, and the fuck I was saying, I was somebody who's a subscriber from the old channel, and I gave him this channel. I was in the cargo office, and I said something. Like, I said, "Oh, I got to drive to Queensbury, New York," which it was like 200 miles from Newark Airport, right? That's more than that, about 225 miles from Newark Airport. So I got to drive up there, and it's pissing down rain over here yesterday. I said, I got to go drive 400 miles in the cold and wet. And they looked at me and they said, "Oh, I got something cold and wet for you," and like loud. And everybody looked at them and like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, I started laughing, and everyone's looking at me like, "Okay, explain what this person's behavior, what that was." And I said, "Yeah, I have a negative effect on people. I have a corrosive effect on people. I come in, I do what I do, and then people, I fundamentally change them in ways that they didn't plan on being changed, you know. And then everybody laughed because it was even more bizarre than the remark of I got something like it's just too weird. But yeah, so I realized that, and I'm trying to get my sense of humor back and look forward to something rather than just fucking slow boiling. You know, every my landlord raised my rent 5% every year until I can't afford to live here anymore, and then I got to go find a roommate or some shit like that, or like you know. So by the end of 2021, I should be somewhere in the low six figures with this Bitcoin thing, and that should give me some opportunities, which I will explore more in the coming year. But that's really the update. That's most of what I want to do is update everybody in case anyone was wondering. And I don't know. I guess we're coming up on 52 minutes. That's not bad. The days of the 3 and 4 hour streams, I think for me are largely over, because I don't think there's not that much. Like the commentary on you know current events. Okay, you know. I don't know that I can add that much to it. That's so different. But you know, anything that grabs me, I'll mention. But I these days looking at all the nonsense, the interaction between the digital world and meat space, and how these two interact negatively, which obviously I have recent experience with, is going to be that's going to be a driving factor, and then the economic thing in the background, because when it's all said and done, you know, money talks and bullshit walks. So when the money runs out or it doesn't buy what it needs to buy, you're going to see changes culturally and politically that are going to be tough to predict. Tough to predict. But if your prediction is doom and gloom, you're going to be in business. Except for the people who manage to avoid losing all their Bitcoin, who will be living happy lives, driving Lamborghinis and snorting cocaine out of the ass crack of a supermodel, which is the Bitcoin dream. If you didn't know, probably you did not know. But yeah, Lambo, and snorting cocaine. I guess the Hunter Biden fantasy, really. Most Bitcoin people just want to be Hunter Biden. Wait till they find out what happens there. That's going to be a very different world than they expect. Unlike the political incels and the dissident right, who are never going to go get anywhere near power or fucking, you know, so they could just talk shit endlessly. It doesn't matter because nothing that they say is it's a gigantic game of Dungeons and Dragons with modern politics. Bitcoin people will have a lot of resources. They did in the last cycle. In this cycle, they'll have even more, and you will hear crazy stories or stories that appear crazy but are not that crazy. So anyway, I guess yeah, let's say 55 minutes. I'm gonna let you out. I'm gonna try not to rush the exits. You know, Mr. Pohl, there are other imaginary people in the audience. And yeah, but that's my update. Things are improved, not as desperate as they were 3 weeks ago, but there's still a lot of work to be done, and you know that's mostly what I'm going to focus on. Anyway, see how many views, and I said I got 10 subscribers, and my last stream got 14 views, so I guess the audience is growing. So we'll see what happens with this one. Anyway, Jonathan Pohl, it's probably, what's the time is it there? It's not only 9 o'clock where you are. So I don't know what time you go to sleep or whatever, but good night, and I will talk to you guys again in the future.